everyone, and welcome back to Girly Girl Bookworm. I don't know why, but it felt like it was a really long time since I made a video. I don't know if it's because of the fact that in the beginning I made like 3 videos a day, 3 videos at a time, and posted them all, or what, because I just posted one Monday. And so this is kind of a review, kind of not a review. I'm not going to be rating this book. I just started it on Monday, and I've still got about 150 pages left. But this isn't really a book that I can give a rating to. I kind of took a step outside of my reading box. Here's my box. Here's my book all the way over here. I kind of wanted to read this book because I've kind of been wanting to learn more about this subject, which I'm not telling you yet. So that's why I wanted to read this one. I didn't go out and buy this one, so that's why there's no haul. You never saw this book before. This book was a book that I was supposed to read my sophomore year of high school. And you know how if you're in high school or you're past high school, you know chances are you didn't read most of the books that you were supposed to read. And this was one of them for me because when I was a sophomore, there was no way I would understand this book. I still kind of don't understand this book. It's written in a way that's really kind of tricky to understand. It's not Shakespeare, because some of you are probably trying to guess Shakespeare. But it's actually the myths of Greece and Rome. Sorry. Oh, the myths of Greece and Rome. It's decent. I'm just kind of reading it to read it now at this point because of the fact that I've already put so much effort in reading it. Like, I've read this much. Oh, it looks like I still have more than half the book left, but the book actually ends, like the story parts actually end right there. So this whole section is nothing. So I really only have this much left. I read all that, so I'm kind of just like struggling to get through it. It's not the easiest book to read, so if you're like watching this and you're in middle school, don't read this because it's hard. Unless you're like a gifted and talented student, be my guest. But it's just, some stories are easier to read than others. Some are just, is this a different language? Like, I don't understand why I don't understand this because it should be easy. So this is something that I'm really interested in learning more about ever since I started reading the Goddess Test trilogy series thing. So if any of you know any better books than this about the truth, like I want the truth. I don't want some made up story now. I want, well, obviously myths are made up stories, but I want the legit myth because I kind of want to understand where they're coming from and not something that has Greece and Rome because of course Greek gods and Roman gods all decide let's all have different names. So I'm getting so thrown off because they interchange them throughout this whole thing and it's driving me crazy. Like Zeus has like 5 names. Apollo has like 5 names. Hera has like 6-10 names. Like, it's so hard to keep track. And then they mention all these things and like a centaur and stuff, and they never explain what a centaur is. I still don't know what a centaur is. So, if you know anything easier than this book, let me know. I mean, it's good from what I understand, but there's so many gods and so many stories to each god that I'm just getting confused. I don't really remember anything that I've read, so it's kind of pointless for me to keep reading this for no reason. But I'm also kind of doing it because the other books that I have at my apartment, where I am right now, one I'm waiting for Halloween to read, one I don't understand, and one I don't like at all. So I know I don't like it because I started reading it last year. So, yeah. And so I don't want to read those yet, and I'm going to be having a haul this weekend video, so look forward to that, which is why I'm trying to force myself to read this until I can get my new books. I ordered them Monday, and they came in the mail today, but they came to my house, not here, so I have to wait until I go home tomorrow to open them and unveil them, and I'm so excited. I'm getting 5 books. I was originally supposed to get 6, but of course, all of a sudden, one is magically not in stock anymore, so I have to wait to read that one. But that's okay. It wasn't one of my high priority books anyways, so I'm excited. So look forward to that this weekend. It should be up. I'll probably make it Saturday. Make the video, put it up Saturday. So I hope you kind of enjoyed this kind of review thing. It's not even a review. Actually, I didn't even review anything other than I don't understand it. I should probably give a little background before I say goodbye. But, so they'll go by gods. Like, this is about this random one that I just haven't opened up to. This one's about Vulcan, who is also known as Hephaestus. I don't know. He's in the goddess test, so that's why I just randomly opened up to him, and it's perfect. And it kind of gives a little bit of background about them. And then it goes into, oh, of course, this one's not one of those. Okay, scratch that. We'll go into Neptune, because I know he does. So they give a little detail, and then it gives, like, a story about them. And then it goes into another story about them. And then another story about them. And then it'll kind of tell you, like, oh, they have a holiday that's celebrated around this time, and they have a statue, and they normally look like this when they're represented, which is decent, like cool, I guess. And then many of you might have noticed when I picked this up, they've got these little sections here, and they're from, like, Homer or Keats or anybody that kind of really, like, wrote about Greek myths, and it's, like, kind of repetitive and kind of annoying at the same time, because it's like they tell this whole story, and then they'll be like, this little excerpt is basically the same story, but written in an even more confusing language. Well, not language, but you know what I mean. The other thing that I like, though, is the fact that, I'm trying to find an example that's not disgusting. Okay, they give little, like, pictures. Actually, that was kind of disgusting. I just showed you something I shouldn't have shown you. Let me find one that's not disturbingly gross. Like that one. So they, like, show different pictures. Some of them are grosser than others. Because a lot of ones that they like to give you are naked. So if you're a kid, don't read this. But, I mean, it's decent overall. I understand why I didn't like this as a sophomore in high school, that's for sure. But let me know if you've read this for high school, or you've seen it, or if you know any books that are way better about myths than this one, because this just didn't cut it for me. This was just too confusing and hard. Which is why it's a step outside of my box. So I'm kind of proud of myself for trying to read it, because it was a struggle for me back then, and I did re-pick it up to try to read it again. And obviously, it must have been somewhat interesting if I went through all my old school books and tried to find it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe. I saw that I've had 100 views on my videos. I know some of them were secretly me. So, I'm so excited that some people are actually watching these. Subscribe if you haven't. Up there, that little button that says subscribe. Do it, please, please, please. And please comment and let me know what you're thinking so far, if I could change anything. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.